Hey everybody, it's Minty here at our fantastic rock pool, which will be the starting point of Melanoma March coming up on Sunday, March 20. We start walking at 8 o'clock. Joining me today is Dr. Helena from Skin Repair, Skin Cancer Clinic. Also, I've got Brandon Schultz and his wife Melissa who join us. Now, Brandon, tell us a little bit about your story. Your first dealings with melanoma was back in 2015. You're in America. Tell us a little bit about how it all started.
So in 2015, my wife had been looking on my back and noticed that there was like a dark brown mark. And she asked me to go get it checked out. After a little bit of refusing, I did eventually go and do it. And it came out, the biopsy came back with nothing, just keep an eye on it, whatnot. A couple years later, it had grown a little bit more. 2017, it had grown a little bit more. I did eventually go back and get it looked at again, biopsied again, and found out it was melanoma. So then had that removed and excised, came back all clear, lymph nodes were clear, and I was given the all clear at that point. Just keep on skin checks and whatnot every 6 months, which I did keep doing, religiously. And then last year, went back for another check, and we had noticed that there was a small colorless lump a little bit lower from where the initial site was, and
didn't look like anything like a mole.
Didn't look like
Nothing
a mole.
concerning, really, just a slight bump. And he had cysts before, so we just assumed that's what it was.
And then, once the biopsy came back from that, found out that was melanoma as well. So now I've been on immunotherapy treatment for 10 cycles. I have 2 more to go. That's going well. I haven't had any side effects, which is really nice.
That's a great story. Melissa, I've got to say, you're a real key in this because you have pretty much noticed nearly all of these things along the way. And for so many people, we don't spot that. You've done an amazing job. What were the things that triggered you to say, hey, you need to get these looked at?
Initially I was sort of naive in what to look for. I had seen the initial one, we had it checked, it wasn't concerning. I didn't think much of it. And then after, 2017 when he was diagnosed, I sort of ramped up my paranoia, so to speak, and I would, be constantly looking at things, doing, a little bit of research, which is, not the best thing. You don't want to go to Google, but just trying to educate myself on how to best check him over in between his skin checks.
Yeah.
So, we found that one, and then last year I was just doing, a routine sweep of his back, looking it over and feeling him, and I noticed, this doesn't feel right. I felt on the outside. I'm like, that's not normal. That wasn't here. I would have seen that. So that's what pushed him to go and get that one looked at, and luckily we did, because if he hadn't, it would have been still spreading, and we would have been none the wiser because there was no external signs, of concern aside from that little bumps.
That's amazing. And you hear this a lot too. I mean, there are a lot of people that don't get to detect these, but when you see them and you see them early, it's so important. And it can be just the slightest little change that leads to a melanoma that can cause all sorts of problems.
Well, that's true. Sometimes it's a very small thing. And not all melanomas are the same either. They can just occur like little pink marks on the skin, as can lots of other innocent things like dermatitis and eczema. So it can be very, very difficult to detect that type of melanoma early. They can, of course, be brown and black and ugly, which is our expectation, but also almost skin-coloured or blue or grey. They can be raised or flat. They can be scaly at times. So there's lots and lots of different phases to melanoma, which makes it very difficult for the public.
And I guess the thing in this point is that Melissa's been very, very vivid in checking and looking for the different signs of change and all that sort of thing. Not everyone has that partner that is able to look and check and make sure that everything's going okay. That's why regular skin checks are so important from professionals like yourself and your team at Skin Repair.
Well, that is true. But just having a self-awareness of what's on your own skin is also really important. To be able to tell the professionals, I know this wasn't here and this is changing, is extremely helpful, because early on, particularly for those paler melanomas, there isn't much to see, and actually it goes on the history. But yes, as things progress, of course, it becomes more obvious, and for darker melanomas, it's more obvious right from the start. But self-examination, self-awareness of your own skin, and regular skin checks are key.
especially here in North Queensland, where the sun, especially with the heat that we've had lately, people still getting out in the sun without sunscreen and hats. And I know that it just disappoints you so much when you see that, because it's so easy to protect ourselves here in this weather, isn't it?
Well, we know from a very large study done in Queensland that spanned over almost 5 years, that wearing sunscreen every single day, not just when you think you need it, but every day, reduces melanomas by 50%.
Wow.
That is massive. So this is one simple daily thing that you can do, a simple daily routine that could make all the difference for the future.
Incredible. You're hearing amazing stories as we count down to Melanoma March. The walk we'll do on the Strand is Sunday, March 20. We'll meet here at the Rock Pool from around 7. The walk will start at around 8 o'clock, and we'd love you to register online at melanomamarch.org.au. Donations are so important this year in the hope of raising more money to support immunotherapy research that will certainly save incredible lives. We're looking forward to it, aren't we?
We most certainly are. We're looking forward to meeting lots and lots of locals on the day.
Can't wait. Come and join us. We'll have lots of great information as well. Guys, thank you for joining us, and good luck with your continued journey. Thank you, Brandon and Melissa, as well. Come and join us. Melanoma March, Sunday, March 20, starting here at the Rock Pool. Register melanomamarch.org.au.